Good morning and welcome to another great edition of Money Truth Moments with our very own wisdom extraordinaire, Money Whisperer, Judy Copenbarger. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Good to see you, Carlos. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. This is a very special week, folks. So if you're joining us for the very first time, welcome. If you're not following Judy, please do so at judycopenbarger.com. We're going to talk about our website. We're going to talk about resources a little bit later on in the show. But the reason this is a very special week and a very special show is because it's all about Thanksgiving. It's all about being grateful. And I think that over the course of the months and years, there's quite a bit of things that we've done over, in our lives and business and all of that, that you look back and think, those are some great moments that really stand out. So, hey, let's kick it off. I mean, I'm very grateful for you. I'm very thankful for everything that you've taught me over the years, and I'm sure that all of our listeners can relate to that as well too.
Well, I appreciate that. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to really make a difference in the lives of people and help them change the trajectory of where they're going and what they're able to do in their life. And it's not just about accomplishing and success, whatever that is, and financial, literacy and financial success. It's about what that money translates to, the connections that it makes, the philanthropy, making a difference in the world, being able to have a lifestyle, raising your kids the way you want with mission trips and soccer cleats and piano lessons and, experiences where you're just creating memories together. A lot of that takes money. And so when people can plan and just really take that to the next level in their lives, I love being part of that. And so I appreciate you saying that you appreciate that, but really the honor is mine when I get to work with great people.
Yeah, and there's been quite a bit of folks that have been very thankful for things that you've taught them. I know that we've had comments on folks that's like, oh, I could have done this better, and I'm going to because of what I've listened to on the show. And like you said, that validates exactly that you're doing some fantastic work to help really helping people. So I'm going to take you down memory lane here, since we are talking about gratefulness, being thankful. Um, Let me just start. Actually, what are maybe some traditions that you normally do
In our family?
in your family? Yes.
Oh, traditions. Well, we laugh a lot and we eat a lot and we just, the holidays are so much fun. And just personally in my life right now, I'm in this sweet spot. So we have 5 children and they're all grown. A couple are married, no grandkids yet. So we're in this little sweet spot where we're still mobile. We can still just like say, let's just go away for 3 or 4 or 5 days. And we
Mhm.
don't have all the extra stuff, of babies yet. And the kids are not, having babies yet where you start your own traditions. You kind of want to be in your own home Christmas morning and you start doing that. So then you have to kind of jockey, well, who's going to be together on what days, and all of that. We don't have to do that yet. And so it's just so neat to be able to just, take a trip or go abroad or everybody hang out in an Airbnb or everybody come to the farm, I love that. But I think that the biggest tradition, Thanksgiving wise, is just our philanthropic part, the gifting part. And so one thing that we did with our kids, we wanted to make sure that they understood the value of giving, the blessing it is to be able to give, even if you just have a little, sharing what you have. And so what we do still, we started it when they were tiny and now they're not, they're in their 20s and 30s. And every year at Thanksgiving, we have our, the whole big meal and traditional, all of that stuff. And of course, you got all the pie and everything. But in between dinner and dessert, we clear the dishes off and get rid of all of our, dirty dishes and our turkey bones and everything. But we stay at the table and we have a single candle. And whoever has the candle gets to talk and everybody else gets to listen. And that kind of helps keep the chaos down. So if
Yeah.
you're holding the candle, you
You
have
got
the
the
floor.
floor. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so we pass that candle around and we go all the way around the table and everybody, talks about what they're grateful for, but also our tradition is to bring to the table someone that you want to honor or maybe a charity that you want to honor financially. Who do you want to give money to? Who do you want to help this year? And so when they were little, everybody would have an allocation of maybe $20, $40, what we could afford at the time. And everybody got to say where it would go. I want to give it to, this charity or this church or this person that's in need or whatever. And so we'd make notes of that. And then before Christmas, we would write all the checks and make all those gifts. But everybody got to contribute and got to bring the purpose for the money and why it was important to them. And so it was really neat as they grew up, they were exposed to other charities and other great causes that they cared about. And so we got to learn about these other causes and these other entities. And then some of those now have been on our list every year, our personal list for donating to. And so that's something that we do. Now the amounts have changed. Now it's, it got into the hundreds and then thousands. And so everybody, we have a family foundation and love to give and share. And so we still do that every year. Everybody gets to pick who they want their money to go to. And now, some of them pick several different charities and we just spread it out that way. But it's just something that we feel strongly about. It's been a great tradition of ours and I love it. Other than, eating, we like to give. So how about you? What's a tradition that you have at your house?
Our traditions was very similar to yours. The gathering, being thankful.
Mhm.
One of the things we always made it a point to do, and even now, with the smaller family that we have, it's about going around the table and just thinking back and really put some thought into this. What are you grateful for this year? What are some things
Mhm.
that when you look around at your life and you look around at everything that's going around, around you, right? There's chaos everywhere. When you can take a deep breath, take a moment, and really realize, I'm very grateful. And it can be just as easy as we're healthy.
Mhm.
Something as very simple as that. I don't have any broken bones. I'm not, out laying out somewhere because I'm ill and all of that. So it's about appreciating those little things that we sometimes take for granted. And I think
Absolutely.
that's also, this is a great time where life happens. We're very busy with business and all that stuff too, but it's good reminder that business will always be there, chaos will always be there, but you have to take a moment and appreciate and be grateful for what you're experiencing at the moment. So
Yeah, I love that it's celebrated all across our country.
mhm.
It's just a moment in time, a few days. Most people have a little time off. Some people are busier, but a lot of
Right.
people get to really come together, travel home or, go to your family, friends, the people that have friends giving, celebrations. I love that. I love that. So, just a time to celebrate each other, and be grateful. Your friends, your family, who gets to live like this. There are billions of people on the planet who would trade places with us in a moment, that would live here the way we get to live, the freedom that we have, the places we get to go, the experiences we get to have, and who we share them with. Who gets to do that? We do.
Yeah, no, you're
It's just
absolutely right.
such a blessing. So I love that everybody kind of communally, celebrates that and thinks about that this time of year. Just that just makes my heart happy.
Yeah, and and I know that also that we talked a little bit about traditions, and I see there's some folks joining us. So welcome, folks. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're talking about gratitude this morning. And if you're not following Judy, please do so at judycopenbarger.com. I know that the Money Truth Moments, it's always been about great wisdom sharing with folks in business. So I'm going to pause for a moment, but I want you to think back in the business aspect in your career, right? There's got to be moments where you've really helped people, and I know you have, that stood out for you, right? Those grateful moments that you're at that ledge that where you don't know where to go, if you can jump or not, and they come to you to say, "Help me, I'm dying here." You know what I mean?
Mhm.
What are some things you that stand out for you as far as, and I don't want to say like grateful clients, but reality it is that you were able to help.
Well, I just had some pictures flash in my head of families just from this week.
Oh,
Just
okay.
from this week. And I'm thinking, it's about the money, but it's not about the money. You
Right.
know, that's kind of the back door into, what's going on in your life, because money's part of every aspect of your life. All of these spokes, kind of
Mhm.
touch each other. Um, and I think the relationship, in the family, in the marriage is pivotal on money. There's the two things people fight about the most when they're married, money and the other one, different show.
Mhm.
But Yeah, money is such a tool, and it can be used for good or not. You
Right.
know, it could be used to bring you together, the way that you share it, earn it, spend it, manage it, all of that, or it could really be used as a weapon. And I'm just thinking about a couple that I just met late last week, Friday, and there were a lot of uh, words between them, not kind words, a lot of tears, a lot of, I had to get out my my gloves and my my pads and and kind of play defense a little bit, but just really kind of the mediator came out, to just kind of help them come together. Well, what can we agree on? You know, and I'm thinking over the years of all the couples that they were in a really bad place, but then you get on a plan, you find what you can come together on, what you agree on. You start rowing in the same direction and not fighting each other, because it's never about what the fight's about, right? In a marriage, it's about something else. And so being able to bring clarity to that, being able to put a voice to it, put some empowerment to it, and be productive instead of just hurtful. Um, that was kind of a crazy meeting, but they left with a plan. They left with clarity. They left with kind of a refocus on what they both really want. They have a written lifetime financial strategy. And so we got back to that. This is where we're going. Look what you get to do together. And then this, you kind of get this piece. So I love being able to be in a meeting like that, even the tough ones like that. But on the other side, being able to work with families that had that kind of stress. And, I look back, 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 years ago where they had that. And since then, it's gone. It's like it's just lifted from them, and they're just living their ideal lives, doing the things they want. They don't stress about money. They don't think about it. Don't worry about it. They're just doing it. It's just like automated. Another thing, this time of year, we do a lot of tax planning. And just this morning, I was working on a couple more families that are doing this tax planning where they had high income, a lot of business going on, a lot of good revenue, a lot of tax that's generated from all that revenue. And so we're mitigating those tax bills through some tax planning, very high level, comprehensive tax planning and different entities and, the way it's all structured. That's awesome. Because what these people do with that money then is they achieve goals with their family. They set up their legacy. They do more gifting. A lot of people would rather give their money to a charity than to Uncle Sam, or at least share. And so being able to help families do that, where they find more meaning and more value in their lives, and the valuable tool of money that they have. I love that. And just, when you ask, what's one moment in time I remembered, it's like, it's kind of all of them. Every family has their journey, and the things we're working on changes over time, over the years. But those are some things that are just kind of fresh in my mind. The tough meetings, the meetings where we just laugh, the meetings where we go back and say, remember when? And I count meetings. So I track, we do 3 meetings a year process. And in every meeting, we look back at every meeting that we've had in the past. So sometimes it's 20, 30, 40, 50 meetings. We know it's like meeting number 57 that we've had. And looking back at the progress that we've made, the goals that have been achieved. It's awesome. Oh, it looks like I have a visitor in my studio today. I see a tail behind me.
I just saw that. All right. We got a special appearance. Who's that behind you?
Oh, that's funny. That's Starlight. Oh,
So,
you
so
never know what's going to happen when you're live.
no, and that's awesome. We have a very special guest. She kind of just blends in a little bit. You can just kind of see the tail and the shadow going in the back. That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
So let me ask you this also. So, one of the things that you brought up, and I think it's crucial for folks to also realize in a daily grind, we also forget about, and we talked about the important things in life, right? Giving is such a huge part that people sometimes forget, right? You get to certain levels and you kind of just forget. Life happens and you just keep going, going, going. But talk to us about, in the business world, as a business entity, what are some things that we could be doing to give back, also to help our community, to help people, even employees for that matter, right? what are some things that you have seen where maybe some good practices for us to also look at as well?
Oh, that's such a great question. Well, there's all kinds of sharing that you can do, all kinds of like ministry or all kinds of help, community help. So one area is helping your people, your staff, your employees, your the vendors, the people that are in community with you in your business. And it could be, little things like just gift cards or giving them, a coupon to go wash their car. It could be finding out what's going on in their lives. And if they've got someone home who's sick, or if they've got something they're going through with their parents, or maybe a tough spot with a child, that's going through a hard time, you can reach out to them and help them in all kinds of ways. And it might be through, some kind of counseling. It might be through bringing them a meal, if they're having surgery or something, all those kind of things that you could do for the people that are in your community or your employees. But outside in the community, things that we've done over the years is we do mission works and community helps together. And so we'll go down and we'll stuff boxes, food drives and stuff boxes at one of the charities. We go to the food banks and help organize the pantry. Things that we do together as employees. And so as a boss, I've been blessed enough to be able to take some of those days and keep them on the payroll, but we're doing something together. And it's great. It's not only team building and bringing, kind of the team together where you're doing something besides the same old office work, in my case, it's office work. But you're doing something together that has meaning for other people and makes a difference. So everybody could think of something that they could do at their job. Whether it's for colleagues, something that you do to share, among colleagues, or something you do out in the community. And it might be just going out on a Saturday morning and picking up trash at the beach. We live by the beach. If you don't live by the beach, it might be a mountain trail or, fixing trails on a hike or something. But there's always something you can do to make the world just a little bit better because of what you have. And it doesn't have to always be money. It can be your time. It could be sharing your talent. If you're really good at reading, go to the library and read to the kids. Go to the nursing home on the weekend and talk to all those people that don't have enough visitors and they're kind of alone. There's so many things you could do. If you have a dog, take your dog and go bless somebody with, the joy of petting your family member. So there's so many things that you can do.
Yeah, and it's you've hit it. There's a lot of things that we can do. It doesn't cost a dime. It costs just time, right? And if you remember, there's folks out there as you were building your career, including your parents and all that, always took the time to help you get to that next level and to that next step. And I think that's one of the things when we talk about. We've talked about this before in previous shows about leadership, right? How to be really grateful when you get to a certain level, when you get to be the owner of your own company, right? Unfortunately, there's that side where people kind of forget where they started and kind of forget who helped them and all of that. Unfortunately, it's just not a good situation. But you also have the flip side of that where, you're always grounded. You always remember, so and so took the time to help me with this. And one of the something I was reading that I came across, it was a great reminder, was also about those that really help other people don't really know the struggles that they're going through, but yet those are the first ones that will jump in and help somebody else out. And it was a very powerful image, and just kind of reading that, it was just another reminder that we're here to really just serve others and really help when we can. And I think this speaks to your legacy and what we talked about over the months, over the years, of what you do. So in the state of being grateful, I also want folks to know, talk a little bit about why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, well, you just said it, is legacy. So for almost 40 years, I've been helping people figure out their money stuff, their legal stuff, their tax stuff, all of that, their investments and retirement planning and, goal setting and all of that. And it's been such an honor to do that. But what I've discovered is I can't work with everybody. I don't want to work with everybody. I've got other things that I like to do too. But I wanted to make available the concepts that I've figured out how to explain to people, where people can really gain an understanding of how it works, how money works. For some people, it's very confusing. It's overwhelming. It brings up, fear or shame or regret or intimidation. And I've got areas of my life like that too. It's anything you plug in, like computers and things like that. It's like, I don't like it. It doesn't bring out the best in me. um, I can do the bare minimum, but it takes energy away from me to think about it or be in that world. And some people have that with financial things.
Right.
And I don't, I've been gifted with a way to bring concepts down to a very basic level so people can understand it and make really wise decisions, just knowing what to do. What are my options? What should I choose and why? And so I've done that, and I've pulled together all those stories and concepts and visuals and ideas that help people really thrive financially. And I've put it together in a book and then an online program where you could watch videos and take classes, and I've just brought it together so beyond people that I can reach in my life that geographically are close to me or in age or close to me or whatever, people can access it from anywhere. And it's designed to be evergreen and timeless, even though the tax code changes and the amounts that we pay on certain things changes, and so some of those numbers will be variable. The basic concepts don't change much ever. And as the laws change, there's a little flex there, but most of the concepts work. I mean, a traditional IRA is what it is. A Roth IRA is what it is. They've never really changed the rules since it started. Irrevocable trusts and living trusts and um, mutual funds. Once you understand just the basics, you understand how those tools can be used to further your own family's goals. And so I put that together where it's accessible for people. And that's part of my legacy, part of what I wanted to leave behind one day. When I go, I want people to be able to still learn those concepts.
Yeah, and part of that legacy is, I think it's a great transition to talking about your website, judycopenbarger.com. So share with folks that, 'cause I know that's a huge part of what you've shared, even from way back when, how to get your wisdom, how to share that with folks, and share a little bit more about your site.
Yeah, well, I've been putting for a number of years now, I've been putting together videos, just short little videos on concepts where people have so many questions. Distinguishing a stock from a bond, distinguishing, the difference, the movement of money in the economy. And, right now we have recession, and that's just the tide has gone out and it will come back in, and then it goes out and it comes back in. And sometimes it goes out a little further, full moon, right? Or it comes in a little higher. That's all it is. And so where are we in the process? Where's the tide right now? And how is it impacting us? And then even more importantly, how should I respond to what's happening? Right? When we have inflation, when we have stagflation, all these economic things. So there's videos on all of that if you're interested in all that, the whys, but also the hows and the whats. And mostly I would say my teaching is instructional and educational and very practical, very relevant for people. It's like, oh, okay, in 5 minutes, I finally figured out that.
Right.
On the 401k, how do I pick, the 2025 fund or a stable value fund? How do I pick that? What is that? And so these videos are very short, talks about how interest works and how tax works and how insurances work. And so you can just watch one from judycopenbarger.com. You can access all kinds of videos. They're all over YouTube as well, just under my name. But there's articles there that will help you. And there's also access to the online program. So it's called Money, Truth, and Life online mastery program. And there's classes on everything financial there for small business, small ministry, and personal finances, family finances. It's all right there at Money, Truth, and Life.
One of the key things also that I've heard, and actually I've seen from you and experienced it, it's something you mentioned, that you break things down very basic for people to understand, right? Everything that you've shared with us, it's not your typical finance person that's, you get really scared when you talk to a financial planner because you don't know half of the things that they say. You don't want to look stupid, so you're kind of agreeing to something that you have no clue what you're agreeing to. And I think that comments that we've had from our audience, things that have been shared, is how much they appreciate you being so grounded and down to earth to be able to explain it even to a third grader. You know what I mean? When it comes right down to it. And I think that's a huge gift, especially in the arena, like you were mentioning earlier, right? There's people there that have gifts like in tech, building, and things like that as well too. And there's others, I will tell you, I would freak out if I had to do something with finance because it's not my thing, right? And thank God for folks like you. But even more so, I think that the grateful part is also that there is you who goes above and beyond to really make sure that folks understand, what they're doing, where they are financially, and how to get out of either a rut or just keep moving forward, as well on that. So
Yeah.
a lot of kudos to you on that.
Well, I appreciate that. One thing that everyone can do is have a positive attitude. If you think I can do it, you're right. If you think I can't do it, you're right. And so it's about really having a positive attitude. And that reminds me of an older woman that I recently heard about. And her hair was thinning, and she wasn't real happy about that. She really valued her appearance, and it was changing as she was aging, and her hair had thinned quite a bit. And so one day when she woke up, there were three hairs left on her little head. Three. But with her attitude, she has this outlook that allowed her to say, today I'm going to braid my hair. And she did. And she had a great day. The next day she woke up and looked in the mirror, and there were 2 hairs left, only 2. And she said, wow, yesterday 3, today only 2. I think what I'll do today is part my hair right down the middle, and I'm going to have a great day. And she did. The next day when she woke up, you guessed it, right? 1 hair left. Wow, only 1 hair left on my head. Well, today it's a ponytail. And she had a great day. And then finally, the last day, woke up and totally bald. No, nothing. That's just nothing. No hair at all. And so she thought for a minute and said, with her great attitude, she said, I am so grateful that I don't have to spend all that time fixing my hair anymore. And that's what can happen. Awesome. When you have a positive attitude, you make the best of it, right?
Yeah. And you know what? That is a great story, folks. I hope that if you're just joining us, you got to hear that. If not, you have to go back a few minutes and listen to this story as well too. But that's awesome. And you're right. It's the little things, right? What we make of it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And I don't want to say it's the little things, but it's that time of the show. We have a challenge. What have you got for us this week?
I do have a challenge for you, and I have a baby challenge, and then I have a BHAG challenge, right? Big, hairy, audacious goal. That's a BHAG. So the baby challenge is just take pen and paper and make a list of 5 things that you're grateful for, and then make a list of 5 people that you're grateful for. And just think for a moment about, the impact of them in your life. If it's family members, friends, colleagues, neighbors, and maybe someone who's no longer here, that you really value the impact and the influence on your life of those people. And things that you're grateful for is too. That's your baby goal. That you can do in 2 minutes. Your big goal is to consider keeping a gratefulness journal or a gratitude journal where you do this every day. And it might not be 10 things you write down every day, but maybe 2 or 3 that you're grateful for. And I've done this over the years. And what is so cool is at first, I'm grateful I have enough food. I'm grateful I have a roof over my house. I have AC, I have a heater. I've got a car I can drive. I've got, a great job and people that love me and people I get to help. But it gets deeper than that. After you cover the things that you're grateful for, rightfully so, it goes deeper than that. And you're grateful for the characteristics in people, the qualities in people, the memories and the depth of life that you get to experience. It goes way beyond, the lights are on, and I can pay my bills. So that's my big challenge for you, is to keep a journal, maybe for a week or 2 or a month or 2 or through the end of the year, and see how that impacts your attitude and your outlook on life. I think you'll be really glad you did if you take that challenge.
All right, folks, you've heard it. That is your challenge. Make sure you share it out with us. And if you're not following Judy, please do so at judycopenbarger.com. You'll get to follow her on social media there. And like you mentioned earlier, a lot of great content, a lot of great videos, all part of her legacy. More importantly, it just takes some time. If you really want to get out of that rut, really want to start, looking ahead in the new year as well, that's a place you have to start. So Judy, any last parting words?
Just have a fantastic Thanksgiving, and don't forget to be grateful for everything.
Awesome. And right back at you with that, folks. Remember, we're here every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Watch the replay on Thursdays at 8 p.m. And we'll see you guys next week. Until then, take care, Judy.
Be blessed. Thank you.